Tuesday, November 21st, 2017. This year's come and almost gone, like a whirlwind. It's been a little over a year since President Trump became president-elect, since we defeated the fake media, the controlled corporate press, since we began the process of restoring our republic, since we began to rekindle our spirits again and not let the globalists break our will. But make no mistake, this is metaphysical. This is spiritual. The globalists are social engineers who lust after dominating and controlling people and breaking their will, breaking their cultures, and turning them into zombies. It is very exhilarating and very exciting, but also paradoxical that when I see listeners of my television show or my radio show, the simulcast, whether they be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, old, young, they have light in their eyes, they're excited, they're involved, they are alive. And then when I see people that either aren't politically awake or aware or are political enemies, you cannot overestimate how slob-like, zombie-like, and enslaved they are. It truly is sad to see the majority of people under globalist control being shiftless, hateful, vicious, desperate, lost individuals. Now, there's a small percentage of those that serve globalism that are totally conscious of it and are just very mercenary when it comes to following the central engineer's blueprint. That said, though, I don't get out in public a ton, but I recently, a few days ago, took my mother-in-law and my family to the shopping mall. It was a nice day. It was an open-air mall called The Domain here in Austin, Texas. And we went to 3 stores. We were only there about an hour and a half. And I guess 1 restaurant, so 4 places. So I guess counting the restaurant about, I don't know, 3.5 hours. And I ran into so many listeners and so many fans. It was very, very humbling because they had so much electricity in their eyes. And in one of the shops I went in, both the women that owned the shop were fans and listeners, but they were taking action. And they've been visiting family and friends out in Oregon during the election last year. And they plastered the town. They said they had a few drinks to make it even more fun. Plastered the town at night with over 500 Hillary for President stickers that also have INFOWARS.com on them. And I thought, well, that's amazing. Thank you. So I bought a jacket vest that I was in there getting. And I went on down the street and ran into a really nice Hispanic couple who also told me about how they put INFOWARS stickers up in Austin, how much fun they had. Then I ran into another Hispanic couple. This guy's made an amazing app called the InfoWare that I just discovered again a few days ago. That's amazing, and I might be working with him on some stuff. It was just crazy how many of the people were so optimistic, but were also taking action and knew that they were part of something historical. And look, Trump's not perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. But we've turned the corner on globalism. You know, the New World Order is upset by the way they're behaving. It's an amazing time to be alive. So as Thanksgiving approaches, I'm very, very thankful for all of you out there. And I'm very, very thankful for all of our affiliates and our sponsors, everybody else. And just in closing here, before we come back with the broadcast, I just wanted to say that we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday specials that are extended right into next week. But a lot of these sales are only one day only because we have limited supplies or while supplies last. So all the specials of yesterday, Brain Force 50% off and 25% off Pro Pure super high quality water filters, that is extending today into Tuesday. But the new specials are Silver Bullet at 67% off high quality colloidal silver. That is $9.95. 67% off, and also knock out the amazing sleep aid. It's got the 9 different healthy ingredients from L-tryptophan to the melatonin, you name it. That's knockout available. So those are just some of the specials. Free shipping store-wide. We've decided to extend, but we're going to have to end that soon, obviously. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com. We'll be right back on the other side, but again, thank you all for being part of history. Thanks for changing the world. Brandon Tatum, the amazing police officer, the oratory genius of common sense, who blasted the NFL, and last time I checked had like 70 million views on one video alone. He is here in studio coming up to co-host with me in the second and somewhat into the third hour. Then he'll also be on with Owen Schroyer on the War Room today, coming up at 3 o'clock Central. Robert Kiyosaki is going to be joining us. Colonel Tony Schaefer, high-level CIA connections, highest level, telling you 3 days ago this appears to be an attack on Trump supporters by a jihadi-connected individual. He has to say it looks like that because he's not supposed to give you the actual intel because there's a shutdown of this information. And I'm going to explain to you later, here in just a few minutes, how they got the president maneuvered into not letting it be known this was ISIS so that they could then burn his administration. Because imagine, ISIS attacks and attacks a bunch of Trump supporters, Trump's approval rating goes up. The left don't care. They're just so bloodthirsty they want to kill, allied with ISIS and al-Qaeda. Trump gets told, sir, don't let them know, it'll panic everybody. And also, it's code to trigger the other cell, sir. And Trump's all into not letting you know what he's going to do militarily and keeping stuff secret. He goes, okay, we won't tell people. But you can't stop the sheriff's departments. You can't stop the HRT. You can't stop everybody that knows the truth from getting the information out. I mean, the guy was a jihadi. He converted to Islam 6 months ago, shot a video. The White House has it, and our sources have seen the video, and they've talked to the folks that have the video. And it's him, bigger than Dallas, Stephen Paddock, the reported shooter, pledging allegiance to ISIS. What a lunatic. Just like Reality Winner inside the FBI NSA was doing. I mean, that's what this country's created. It's what Stephen Colbert and CNN and all these New World Order, Harry Weinstein-type folks have created, is a bunch of America haters so vicious, they think, well, ISIS hates America. ISIS hates cops. You go to a Black Lives Matter event, they're got ISIS flags. I mean, I've seen it with my own eyeballs. My crew shot video of it. You can't make this up. And James Browner will be joining us. He's the former Trump administration official who's leaked a lot of info that's proven to be totally accurate. And he will be joining us. He is the source of the information that's top linked on newswars.com. Former Trump campaign official says Las Vegas shooter made ISIS tape, and then he's been told that by the Trump administration. And Paul's headline's strong, but it just should be credible. A former Trump administration official says White House sitting on top Vegas shooter ISIS tape. I mean, that's what's going on here. And it's all there, what he was told, exactly what I was told why Trump was sitting on this and why I didn't give that information out Tuesday when other high-level sources said, no, it is ISIS. And they were planning a bunch of other attacks, and that's why the cops down the street at some of the other hotels that I've been asked not to say the name of, but we have video. We were airing some of it last night, did shoot other gunmen. So they ended up stopping gunmen in at least 2 other places, but not in the Mandalay. That's why you hear in the first minute and a half, at least 2 different rifles, sounds a mile apart. First far off, and then 30 seconds later, boom, 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 boom. I'm going to play that audio and video coming up again, but this is just incredible. So that's all coming up. But, oh, here it is in The Guardian. Oh, we told you this on Monday, and now The Guardian has to admit it. Las Vegas sheriff gunman planned to survive and may have had help. And now ISIS continues to take responsibility. That's Associated Press today. Think about all of this. This is incredible. Look at the target. Look at who got hit. Look at Trump and the military smashing ISIS that had been allied with the Democrats, the Muslim Brotherhood, and the globalists. They're mad. They want to strike out. They bragged they struck out. They killed 59 people, injured over 500. So that's all coming up today with these expert guests in studio and more. Meanwhile, the left is turning up the heat. Mainstream media analysts are saying, if you love dogs, you're racist. This is actually being taught in universities. This is to create the total frothing fear and racial division in the country. And Newsweek has come out and blamed white Christians for the attack. So they call us conspiracy theorists for having real sources, real info that continues to be proven right. And meanwhile, Newsweek is point blank blaming Christians for what happened with no proof. Absolutely incredible when it's admitted this guy was not a Christian. In fact, evidence is mounting that he was a leftist atheist that then flipped out and converted to Islam, as we continue to see in the mass Stockholm syndrome. All these feminists in Sweden and Germany and the U.S. converting to Islam, wearing hijabs, saying this is feminism. No, they just want to be rebellious idiots against the West. Anybody that hates America, anybody that hates freedom, they're into it. They love it. So it's all coming up, the bombshell, next chapter. Remember, they covered up San Bernardino for 3+ days. First they said may have been radicalized. Then, well, we think they were radicalized. Well, there was connections to other events. Well, they traveled overseas. And then 5 days later, okay, they were ISIS. Same thing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're running the biggest special we've ever had for our best-selling product, Brain Force, now Brain Force Plus. There's 20% more in each bottle. And we're now purchasing so much of it from the major organic manufacturer here in the United States that we've been able to get it for less. So I'm offering for the first time ever 50% off. And I thought I could offer this for maybe a month. I'm going to have to stop this special within a week because it is blasting out of our warehouse because the fans of it already are stocking up. They know how great it is. A whole bunch of organic, natural, healthy, known nootropics. Nootropic means for the brain. And if you want good, clean, focused energy, if you want that, then Brain Force is for you, and you're supporting the broadcast at the same time. So for a limited time, ladies and gentlemen, Brain Force Plus is now 50% off, or $19.96. That comes to 50.03, a little bit over 50% off the regular price. Similar nootropics that aren't even as pure or strong cost $50 to $70. It's a good deal at $39. It's $19.96 at InfoWarsLife.com, or simply call toll-free 888-253-3139. And when you purchase Brain Force Plus or any of the other great products like Secret 12, Caveman, Oxy Powder, Super Mel Vitality, our fluoride-free Super Blue, colloidal silver, and iodine empowered toothpaste, you get to support the information war and get really high-quality products. When you sign up for auto ship, you always get 10% off. And there's free shipping at InfoWarsStore.com and InfoWarsLife.com. There's free shipping on all orders of $50 or more. Again, that's InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And folks, the globalists hate it when you do this. We're the tip of the spear because we're fearless, we're bold, because we understand the stakes are too high. The globalists win, we're all slaves. So don't thank me for what I'm doing. I want to thank you. We're all in this together. And when you get the great Molon Labe t-shirts, and you get the great books and videos, and when you get the great water filtration, you help yourself, you help your family. When you get the great air filtration systems, all of them, on sale right now at InfoWarsLife.com, you're funding the tip of the spear. But these specials have got to end. I mean, it may just be 4 or 5 days left that I'm able to offer Brain Force at this price because it's selling out so incredibly quickly at 50% off. But again, thank you all for your support because this helps fund our operation as we expand in the face of the globalist. Again, visit InfoWarsStore.com today and commit to helping the InfoWars. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live. I am your host, Alex Jones, and you have not seen anything yet. Believe me. Ladies and gentlemen, there are powerful multinational forces working through Orthodox Wahhabist Islam to launch terror attacks inside the United States, Europe, Canada, Australia, the West in general, to drive us into political submission. And the left also uses the terror attacks to take the general public's freedoms. So now we see a bunch of Trump supporters gunned down in cold blood in Sin City,
hundreds wounded, 59 dead. And the answer is collectively that all of us must give up our rights and that we as gun owners are guilty and that the NRA isn't just terrorist, meaning gun owners, but that the NRA should be banned. That's a talking point on MSNBC, CNN. That's a talking point from Oberman at GQ. They want it banned. And simultaneously, they want the Department of Homeland Security to set up a ministry of truth. NBC News has been calling for it. ABC News to stop Alex Jones, to not let me be on air because they want to preemptively say I'm a fraud. And then they misrepresent what I've said because they're the frauds. Alex Jones says there wasn't any shooter and nobody got shot. And Alex Jones says there was more than one shooter. And Alex Jones says ISIS took responsibility, and that's not true. All of that was in a Newsweek story, waging war on common sense. Like I'd say no one got shot, but then there were multiple shooters. I didn't say that nobody got shot, and I was quoting ISIS saying they took responsibility. But that's what they do. They lie. Notice they'll say Alex Jones said this and won't even show a quote around it or won't even show a video because they are a pack of criminal liars and they know you know they're liars. They just hope if they tell bigger lies, somehow you'll buy into it. This article out of QZ.com 2 days ago basically set the parameters of it. Newsweek and others ran similar stories saying there's no way to report many of the fastest spreading Las Vegas conspiracy theories on Facebook. And they say, but Jones says ISIS took responsibility. And Jones says, but the sheriff's department says he didn't act alone. I was saying all this, you noticed before it was public because I have sources, but they just act like I just make that up. Remember at first they go, Trump's not calling you. They go, well, we called the president and he wouldn't deny it. It's like we're not making any of this up with the huge whistleblowers. The media said it was fake when I said Matt Drudge was in studio. Sorry you can't get that interview. So they're the liars. I'm not covering this to talk about me. I'm covering it because they're here in the news saying in these articles, flag Alex Jones's videos, ban his videos on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and a bunch of them have been banned. And they go, oh, good, it was banned where Alex said no one was shot. The video that was banned is where I said people were shot. See, they don't want you to hear what I really said. Then, after they start reporting this 2 days ago, here's a new article, Market Watch. YouTube cracks down on conspiracies, fake news. Then they say, yes, one example is NFL anthem protest. They just banned that too. Oh, thank goodness they're stopping the fake news. No, they're covering up the real news and other people's free speech that may not be completely accurate, a whole spectrum to set the precedent that if it's not corporate media, it's shut down. That's all. They don't seem to know the Streisand effect that when they try to suppress speech, it makes everybody want to go see what it is. Here's another one. Las Vegas survivors furious as YouTube promotes clips calling shooting a hoax. I was furious too. But the point is they still have that free speech. It shouldn't be taken down. So they use that rubric. They use that excuse like, oh, let's just ban Nazi speech. And then next, your speech is banned. So that's out of the Guardian. YouTube institutes new censorship policy to stop Las Vegas conspiracy theories. Wall Street Journal. Google apologizes. So what they're really doing is saying, oh, we apologize. Like, please don't throw me in the briar patch when this is what they want. This is the censorship they promised to engage in. Meanwhile, I'm not calling for censoring the fake corporate hateful media, but here's Newsweek saying Christian whites are to blame. White males are the problem. They're evil. Would they ever say Muslims are the problem after an Islamic attack and it's even proven? No. But when it's not proven it's a Christian white male, they come out and say it viciously when it was a bunch of white people mainly that were being targeted. There's the article on newswars.com. Newsweek demonizes Christians for Las Vegas massacre. Far right won't accept killer was a Christian white male, even though there's no evidence of that. See how vicious they are? Talk about hurting the families, but you still got your right to be dirtbags, Time Warner and Newsweek, and to tell us that Hillary won the election and have a big color magazine showing her the night when she won, and it was all, that was fake too, but you'll never know it wasn't the night she won. You had to print it before. The whole thing's a lie. Even the photos aren't what you say they are, because you're a pack of scum. And I get it. You know that we're beating you now, and so you want to shut up. Well, good luck. I'm never shutting up, and we're winning and you're losing. And despite all your censorship, guess how many views? I didn't have time to count it all up. I had to stop it. Over 50 million views on our platforms, extra. Not just our talk radio audience, not just our regular viewers. Over 50 million since Sunday. See, because people heard me Friday and Sunday say the mass shootings of big events is about to start in the next few days. And then the media shows that and goes, oh, look how kooky. He even said it before. And people go, kooky to say it before? See, they play this mind game where they're the authority. So if they tell you 2 + 2 = 100, it supposedly does, and they say it with a con man's confidence. Like, oh, Alex Jones claims Hillary Clinton collapsed, but she didn't, thinking you won't go look the video up. See, they take our strongest points and they report on them like, oh, look, he said it was coming the day it happened. What a kook. Like, you'll go, yeah, what a kook. He predicted it right on target. That's really kooky. They think you're so weak-minded, there's an appeal to authority that if it's the Washington Post, New York Times, or, you know, Raw Story or whatever, you'll go, oh, my gosh, this man is an outrageous kook. Look, he said that the sheriff's department believes there's more than one person involved, and they found paraphernalia tying him to leftist groups and ISIS, and he pledged allegiance on a video to ISIS months before, and now it's coming out of the White House. Now we learn why they're sitting on top of it, and when we come back, I'll explain. But it's all hidden in plain view, and now the top psych warfare experts are coming out, like Colonel Schaefer, and now the top psychologists and psychiatrists are coming out. They're all saying, look at the motive, look at the time, look at the age. It's just like hashtag Hunt Republicans. It's just like the Scalise shooting when they wanted to have a special election and kill all 15 members of the team. They planned this, and they're moving, and they're going to carry out the terror to bring in the police state that they themselves are executing. But we are aware of their plan and are blowing their operation up on the launch pad. Victory to the Republic! Coming up in the next segment, I'm going to show some examples on Twitter of what the left is saying. They're like, we want to shoot Republicans. We're going to kill you. You deserve a firing squad. All this hypocritical, hateful stuff, and in between celebrating that a bunch of conservative white people died. They then have articles out saying, I made it up, that the head of CBS Legal didn't say that their vice president didn't say it, that all these movie stars didn't say it. They're all over the place saying they deserve it. It's so schizophrenic because they operate like they control reality. It's like if you walked in and a guy is on top of your wife in bed. It's your next door neighbor, and you're like, Ralph, get off Jenny. And he says, Ralph, I'm not here. Your wife's not here. We're not in bed. And you're like, Ralph, I'm grabbing you by the back of your neck. I'm about to punch you in the face. You are in bed with my wife. He's like, no, you're not. I mean, they play these mind games like, Jones claims the sheriff's department says they believe there was more than one person. There's only video of them saying it. Jones claims. See, what they've inadvertently done is like made me the symbol of fakeness. But they decided Jones is now the symbol of fake news. And then all they did was make me bigger by always attacking me and then saying, well, we can't get around the fact that it's ISIS and there's a major cover-up, so just say that Jones said it and then put him out there and just say Jones said it so then they won't think it's true. Like, sir, the sky is blue and the public knows it is. Well, just say Jones said it's blue. And then if he says it's blue, they won't believe it. It's this weird game they play. And it just doesn't work, but they just keep doing it because they're delusional. It's a grand falloon. Kurt Vonnegut talked about people will just pick some mindless thing to celebrate, to have like this fake status, and then just go around delusional like they're still in charge. You're like a crazy person, at the street corner that's schizophrenic and thinks they're Pope John Paul II, and you're not. You're a drooling crazy person. And the left is basically one step better than that at this point. And they just don't get it. They just don't understand it. We've got a guest coming in here, Mr. Tatum, who did one video a few weeks ago. It's got over 70 million views, and every other video he's doing is getting millions of views out of nowhere, an articulate, smart, compassionate police officer. You can't compete with that when every video he does gets millions of views. It's game over. People want that. They don't want you. If we have 50+ million viewers and listeners a week, conservatively, lately it's way above that, we're bigger than they are. You're bigger than they are. They're a joke. They're just an organized group like syphilis or other diseases that are hard to get rid of, herpes, that won't go away. It's like back pain because you were in a car wreck and shattered your back. It won't go away. They just won't go away. And now they want to censor everybody and shut down independent media. And you read the articles where they want to shut down, it's a chronicle of how right we are. Jones says they found receipts in the hotel showing that he checked in 2 days earlier and a woman was with him and visited. Now the police department's come out and said exactly that a day after we said it. Jones says that they believe other people were helping him and that radicalization material was found inside of the hotel room. Days later, it comes out. Jones says that ISIS took responsibility. And on stuff like that, ISIS did take responsibility. I didn't break that. They just go, Jones says it, see? Oh, well, that guy that, that believes that the moon's made out of cheese and that the earth is flat. And then they say all these things I don't say, all these things I don't believe, just like they do to you. Just like they say, you're a racist because you don't like Obamacare. You're like, actually, I read the congressional report. It massively increases prices and was written by big banks to screw me. Oh, shut up, racist. But here's the big news, okay? I'm going to get to it right now. It's up on newswars.com. And I say that because INFOWARS is getting so much traffic right now. It's been bogging down a little bit. That's why we have prisonplanet.com and newswars.com. But also have a lot of original content on them as well, because one site's not big enough, obviously, to have stuff on the front page. So we've got the backup sites that are quite large in their own right, but I suggest you share those links. Here's the story up on drudgereport.com, the left-hand column as well. Former, very credible, high-level Trump campaign official is reporting. I think we should take the word claims out because he's a good, credible guy. He's reporting. Las Vegas shooter made ISIS tape. Well, that's what ISIS said on Monday morning. A former Trump campaign official is making extraordinary claims. He was leaked information from within the White House that Las Vegas massacre gunman Stephen Paddock made an ISIS propaganda tape and that authorities are refusing to reveal the mass shooting was a terror attack. Now, why are they doing that? And then letting the left run around and say that it's a Christian white gun owner with no evidence. Because they told the president, and I've been told this by Monday and Tuesday, that, well, we believe it could be code. It was supposed to be a big trigger for the all-out attack October 1st, and we just don't want what he wrote and what he said getting out because it's supposed to be the launch of this. The Democrats have already announced October 1st all hell was to be released to build up to November 4th, the final overthrow of the U.S. government. Mainline Democratic Party sites are saying that. But that's how they get the president, because they know he's got a soft spot for, keeping stuff secret militarily. They go, sir, we don't want the enemy to know, and we don't want to give the attention. Because pre-9/11, you never gave terrorists attention, because then that only emboldens them. A lot of terror attacks got covered up. Hundreds of Weatherman attacks and communist attacks got covered up in the 60s, 70s, early 80s, because you don't want to give them the attention they want. So that's the argument they gave the president. Sir, we need to hold this off a while so that we can follow the leads and catch everybody. And plus, we believe it could be a mass triggering event. And that's indeed what was told her. And I knew this by Monday night, Tuesday, and this is the information I personally held back, even though I knew that the president was being manipulated on this, in my humble view. That's shown I have a little bit of gravitas at these things, researching it, being totally obsessed with it, being right in the middle of it. And that's why the police and the sheriff's department, the FBI, mid-level, low-level, started leaking the truth, because they don't want to sit here and watch gun owners and Christians and conservatives and white people blamed as terrorists and let the media go with this narrative. It's going to come out, just like the feds ordered the other feds to be quiet in San Bernardino. They only held it back for 3 days. Now we're 4 days in, 5 days in, and the question is, will they be able
Tuesday, November 21st, 2017. This year's come and almost gone, like a whirlwind. It's been a little over a year since President Trump became president-elect, since we defeated the fake media, the controlled corporate press, since we began the process of restoring our republic, since we began to rekindle our spirits again and not let the globalists break our will. But make no mistake, this is metaphysical. This is spiritual. The globalists are social engineers who lust after dominating and controlling people and breaking their will, breaking their cultures, and turning them into zombies. It is very exhilarating and very exciting, but also paradoxical that when I see listeners of my television show or my radio show, the simulcast, whether they be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, old, young, they have light in their eyes, they're excited, they're involved, they are alive. And then when I see people that either aren't politically awake or aware or are political enemies, you cannot overestimate how slob-like, zombie-like, and enslaved they are. It truly is sad to see the majority of people under globalist control being shiftless, hateful, vicious, desperate, lost individuals. Now, there's a small percentage of those that serve globalism that are totally conscious of it and are just very mercenary when it comes to following the central engineer's blueprint. That said, though, I don't get out in public a ton, but I recently, a few days ago, took my mother-in-law and my family to the shopping mall. It was a nice day. It was an open-air mall called The Domain here in Austin, Texas. And we went to 3 stores. We were only there about an hour and a half. And I guess 1 restaurant, so 4 places. So I guess counting the restaurant about, I don't know, 3.5 hours. And I ran into so many listeners and so many fans. It was very, very humbling because they had so much electricity in their eyes. And in one of the shops I went in,
basically saying he's like Bill Cosby. Now, that said, Hollywood has a giant pedophile problem. I've never heard that about Mr. Weinstein. I'm not defending him either. But I've never heard he likes little boys or little girls. So I guess if he was like Roman Polanski, he'd have Meryl Streep out there defending him for, grabbing and basically kidnapping a 13-year-old girl and then raping her in a very painful way. I'm not going to go into details, but let's just say there were still sodomy laws at the time. There's also child rape laws still in the books. So I'm not defending Weinstein. He's a real toilet bowl creature that's anti-gun, anti-American. He's pledged himself to the resistance more now. He's put out a statement, I'm going to really go after Trump and his supporters and the NRA now. Please don't destroy me, media. Please, no, don't do it. Ah. For not the classic harassment where they make men and women liking each other illegal, but the real deal, like Al Gore does, where you invite a woman in to your office and it's like, would you like to massage me? I'm in a bathrobe. Would you like to loofah my stretch marks? And there is Glee actor takes plea deal on child porn charges. I mean, what is going on here? What is happening? And these folks are getting rolled up. They're getting arrested. But, I mean, I'm sorry. You got the deputy pope just basically charged with over 100 children kidnapped and trafficked. This is a nasty, nasty group of people. And that's why they hate flyover country. They don't like us, folks, because we like women. Are women like men? We just want to live our lives. We're happy. We got our heads screwed on straight. We're tough. We're enjoying life. Doesn't mean we're perfect, but we don't live in catatonic fear. We know we're going to die. We're comfortable with it. But we want to have a good life for our children in the future. And we don't want you in our future, Hollywood. You can be over there and you can enjoy yourselves, and you're not going to force feed our kids anymore. You're not going to run our lives. You're not going to take our guns. You want to fight? You got one. But you do have Weinstein and all his 13 meetings at the White House with Obama, and the fact that Hollywood thinks Obama's cool, that Obama thinks theirs cool. There's nothing more uncool than Hollywood. And I'm not somebody that got rejected by Hollywood saying that. I've had Hollywood going from wanting me, looking for me, wanting to put me in movies, to begging. I've had the CIA beg me to stop. I've had Hollywood beg me. I've had them ask, whatever you want, whatever you want. I've had the people at the highest levels of globalism, just what do you want? You want 50 million? You want 500 million? You want sex? You want drugs? You know what I want? I want your head on a wall. Politically. I've come to destroy you and probably get destroyed in the process. I'm crazy. Just like you want to destroy me, you're crazy. Well, guess what? You found for every action, there's an opposite action. For every yin, there's a yang. For every child molester, there's somebody that wants to gouge your eyeballs out with ice picks. For every Satanist, there's somebody that wants to cut your head off, Satanist. You want to have some little kid you can have your way with, you're all powerful. I want to get in a ring with you with a baseball bat. Let's just see who comes out of there. Because you're going to see a real demon once you get in the ring with me. Not the little fancy prance demons you think you've been dealing with. You people are under judgment. And it's only the beginning. And I love it. And God is opening the gates of hell so that you can be taken back to where you came from. I'm going to come back after this break before he joins us and play part of a 5-minute powerful breakdown by Brandon Tatum at The Officer Tatum on Facebook, Tatum Bug 34, YouTube, BT Cruiser 34. So that is coming up. He'll be in studio with us riding shotgun. Colonel Schaefer of Army Intelligence and CIA breaking down the latest on the Vegas shooting. This is key intel. Needs to go mega viral. Very, 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 very important. So, again, INFOWARS has all the latest breaking news, but to see the mighty falling to our left and to our right, it's simply amazing. Now, I haven't even gotten really into the latest Vegas information. And again, when I keep saying we were right, it's because they're all over the news saying we're fake news and then saying things we never said and twisting things to then set the precedent to ban INFOWARS material on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. So that's why I keep walking through and prefacing our bona fides, our bona fides, our curriculum vitae, our history, and why they keep misrepresenting it, because we carry the light in the dark of the night that they're so scared of. And you can go to the article by Paul Watson on newswars.com, and it's on the left-hand side, partway down on drudgereport.com. Former Trump campaign official reports Las Vegas shooter made ISIS tape. Well, that's just what ISIS said on Monday. And the AP reported they don't usually lie about what they take credit for. And now he's connected to a bombing in New York and the very same material, the very same fingerprint. And connected to gun running and connected to Antifa and radicalization. And we got the receipts. We published the receipts. We showed you the info. We said he had a lady in there days before. He checked in early. Bam, 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 bam. This one article by Paul Watson chronicles it all. And the way Paul writes it, he just lets you make up your own mind. I'd have some headline like, total proof, emerges that he was connected to ISIS. But the media is going to try to cover all this up. They're going to try their best. They're going to try to say Christians did it with no evidence, but then say, oh, but don't look at the Muslims and don't look at the target. Now, before we go to break here in just a moment, I want to just briefly thank listeners for their support of the broadcast and remind listeners that we are listener-supported, and it is your financial support getting good products in return that you need in that symbiotic relationship and that 360 win that makes everything here we do possible. And we're not just going to have to end in the next week the Brain Force Plus special, 50% off. I'm going to have to end even sooner our caveman, ultimate paleo, bone broth, turmeric, chaga mushroom, bee pollen, and more concentrate. You talk about next level meal replacement, next level compared to whey. And it's great to mix with whey and then make shakes. It's incredible. My son is growing like a weed using it. He's bigger than I am already at 15. Incredible. It is amazing. InfoWarsLife.com, 50% off Caveman, but only a few days left. It's about to end. Okay, folks, hour number 2 is only a minute and a half away. Then we're going to have an excerpt of Officer Tatum breaking down the latest on Vegas, and then he'll be in studio with us for the rest of the hour with Colonel Schaefer and much more. And then later, he'll be back with Owen Schroyer with the War Room, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. Mike Cernovich is coming up as well, and a lot more.